Pompey Sound, your hourly update from Fratton Park, sponsored by Piglet's Pantry, the home of award-winning and handmade food on the South Coast.
On Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, there was nothing Pompey fans could do but keep track of the games involving clubs who are all fighting relegation towards the bottom of the Championship. At half-time in those games, things were largely going Pompey's way. Plymouth were 2 down at home to Sheffield Wednesday, Luton were 2-0 down at Burnley, and with Burnley's defensive record, they were unlikely to pull anything out of the fire there. The fly in the ointment was Derby, who managed to sneak a 2-1 lead over Blackburn, while Cardiff against the odds pulled the score back to 1-1 at Sunderland just before half-time. Hull City were 1-up at Bristol City, despite having a man sent off after 14 minutes, Pedro, who had scored their goal 30 seconds prior to his red card. As the second half wore on in all the games, Bristol City pulled one back to go 1-1 against Hull, a penalty. Burnley extended their lead against Luton to 3-0, Sunderland made it 2-1 against Cardiff, which was very welcome, but as the game began to draw to a close derby, continued to hang on stoically to their 2-1 lead against Blackburn. There were no further goals in any of the games, so at the end of the 90 minutes up and down the country, it was a pretty good afternoon for Pompey. Plymouth, Luton, Stoke and Cardiff all lost. Hull scraped a draw, Derby were the only hair in the soup, hanging on for a 2-1 win at home, so Saturday's results, which Pompey will take into their lunchtime kickoff against Leeds on Sunday, has the bottom of the Championship table looking like this. Plymouth, Luton and Derby in the 3 relegation places, with Derby third to last on 32 points, and Pompey 5 places above the relegation zone but now only 7 points clear of it, with Derby on 32 and Pompey on 39, but Pompey with the game in hand.
Pompey's new signing is Goran Alexander Shostrom Milosevic. Some would say he is very much a nearly man of world football. He was a striker until the age of 17. And then at his first club, they switched him to central midfield, and then persuaded him to move back to central defence where, it said, he flourished. He signed a 4-year contract with his boyhood favourites AIK. During his startup days he trained with Celtic and was also being tracked by Liverpool, Arsenal and Spurs. Bundesliga club Werder Bremen made an official bid for the youngster of €600,000, which AIK turned down to spend another year maturing. In January 2015, Milosevic signed a 3.5-year deal, with a 2-year option to extend, with Turkish Besiktas for a fee of €1 million. Alexander then began what must have been an unsettling period of travelling. Besiktas lent him to Hannover 96, then Darmstadt in the Bundesliga, then Kayseri. On his return to AIK, he made 27 games. Then Nottingham Forest came for him and signed him on an 18-month contract. In 2020 he joined Danish Superliga side Bold Club, signing a 2-year deal, but he left at the end of the year. In his time he's played for Sweden's international youth team, at under-17 and under-19 level, and was part of the squad that won the 2015 UEFA European Under-21 Championship. He's been CAP'd 9 times by the Swedish national side. Alexander's father Goran immigrated to Sweden from Serbia. His mother Monica is Swedish of Finnish descent. He's 6'4", commanding, fit, and reportedly highly combative. Pompey's new centre-half Alexander Milosevic.
Someone once said, for a man to be happy, it is not necessary only that he succeeds, others must fail. And that's just how it was today, this Saturday, with Cardiff, Stoke, Luton and Plymouth all failing. Derby are very annoying. They scored a couple of goals in the first 7 minutes and then managed to hold on against a fairly powerful set of opponents in Blackburn. So that's annoying. And their win means that they have cut the cushion that we have to 7 points. But it's still a fairly healthy cushion. And, of course, we've got a game in hand, albeit the most challenging game we could possibly have, or second most challenging, I suppose. Going to Leeds is the most challenging, but hosting Leeds is probably the second most challenging game you can have in the Championship at the moment. So I see that that John Messino is saying once again that it would be great to get anything against Leeds. Yeah, OK, John, thanks for that. But I think most of us work that one out for ourselves. Anyway, the press asks, so you have to answer. And then Hull went and got a draw as well, which they did, that was pretty tough of them to do that. Bristol City are no mugs, and they had a man sent off, a few seconds after scoring a goal. Don't know what the story is there. Can't get the information. Pedro scored one in the 13th and then got red carded for a tackle on the 14th minute. So that's probably a rush of blood, as they say, or adrenaline doing overtime. Anywho, here we go. It's Leeds, midday Sunday. Bring it on. Bring it on. This is Pompey Sound.